So in this film of Heather walking down the sand dunes, we're looking at making a better composition and correcting errors. So we can see already that we've got the clouds on a bit of an angle. Well, not even in Wales do clouds go on an angle as far as I'm aware. So we need to kind of fix the horizon line. So we still want to keep all the leading lines and so on with it. But basically we want to look at this as an example how we can correct the composition. Now, if you've seen the film where we basically remove the assistant here with the flash, basically all we've done is working from the basic image. We then actually duplicated this image. We made the selection around the subject, the assistant. We then did a little bit of retouching in the grass, and then we basically had a finished image as such. Okay, so at this stage we're pretty much done, and I can go ahead and flatten the image because I don't need all that information that is gone. We do need to correct this horizon. So the first thing we do, by having the crop tool selected or hitting C, first thing is click into the image just once, and that will bring up the third of rules, or the rule of thirds kind of guide. But when we start to click onto a corner edge and we start to rotate, it gives you more intersection lines. And by doing this, you can get a greater and more accurate horizon line to kind of keep them going straight. So, you know, with a thing like this where the dunes are all over the place and the grass is being kind of waved across with the wind and blah, 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 the only thing that I can really tell that is correct as far as the horizon is concerned is the sky and the cloud level, and that is it. Okay, so what else do we want to do? The first thing is, because I want to make use of the compositional rule of thirds here, I want to extend the actual background beyond its physical boundaries. So as you can see, I grab a corner and basically drag out. And what I want to do is put Heather, who's the model here, into the golden section. Now you could either choose the feet, the tummy, or the face. That's really down to you. For me, I'm going to just put her boobs on the actual line itself and things really. That's the golden section. I think that'll give it a better balance. But as you can see here, we've got white edges coming into the shot. I'm not bothered about that at all. The one thing, though, I will say to you is that if you do want to preserve the original, remember, preserve the original. This is coming from a raw file, so I can go back to it at any stage. However, at this stage, if you weren't sure if you wanted to delete the pixels off or not, in other words, you want to come back to perhaps change the composition at a later stage, all you've got to do is unchecker the delete cropped pixel box at this stage. And look, you see it now go to a checkered box here. So let's now double click, and this basically is our working image. So let's Control J that to duplicate the layer. And now what we're going to do is just go into the little parts of the photograph, and we're going to fill these in. So with that selected, we'll go to Delete and Fill Selection. And then once more, we'll kind of just drag all the way down here. Oh, just wobbled there a little bit. Let's do that again. And then once more, right click in, and we're going to use the Delete and Fill Selection, where it's the content aware fill. It's basically doing its job. And then this is the really clever part, in fact, is where we're just doing this part here. And if we were copying and pasting and doing all those bits, it would take a real while to actually go in and kind of make that grass seem seamless together and everything else with it. A little bit of edge kind of fixing at times as well. You can see up by here. So if you just pick up the press S for the clone stamp tool, making sure we got current and below, clicking onto this, and basically we'll just do that edge. And probably, is that edge the same? Is it okay? It's just at the bottom here. We'll just go in and just do that across. Now, if we look in here, we can see that we've created a repeating pattern. So don't do it too close to the subject itself, yeah? Do it from somewhere, somewhere else. Let's choose a thinner grass. Choosing the same tone. We'll just go across there. So it avoids that repeating pattern. So now what we've gone through in a very few easy steps is we've got a much better compositional element to the image using the rule of thirds lines in the crop tool. And remember, at this stage, you basically have got the pixels still available for you to make use of because we uncheckered the crop pixel box. If, however, we let's go in there again, and now if we click on the deleted pixels, what this is going to do now is delete the information away. It hasn't flattened the image, but it has got rid of the stray original kind of pixels that were just off. And of course, at this stage, we would just go into Layer and Flatten Image, and then you would just go in and File and Save As. And I usually put an F on the end of an image to make sure that it kind of is known that it is finished. So that's a way to crop and fix for better composition in your Photoshop image.